Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Hot Topics in Wealth Management. I'm very excited to be joined today by Tom Biel, who is a wealth management advisor with Northwestern Mutual. How are you doing today, Tom?
Good, Andy. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. It's been a lot of fun getting to know you over the last recent months and talking back and forth. And you and I are going to be talking today about two hot topics in wealth management. First, the three secrets to maintaining a solid financial plan. And secondly, where can people get started? Where can people start? But to kick things off on a personal note, I want to ask you about your coaching experience in football and baseball, which I know are great passions of yours. I've been fortunate to be a coach in soccer and basketball. And also, I'm very thankful for the professional coaches and sports coaches I've had over the years. So what inspired you to be a coach?
It's a great question, Andy. I believe we're all on a mission, and I was challenged with that question early on in my professional career of what's your mission? I could never really get it out. So through discovery and working with coaches, my mission today is to work hard at bringing the best out of others so that they can see what's possible for themselves. And, our financial planning business, that's one thing, that we do all day long, but personally, it's through athletics and, with specifically youth athletics. I have 4 children. My boys are 12, 9, and 7. My baby girl's 4. I don't get to coach her just yet. But my boys, it gives us the ability to connect and bond. And even deeper than that, I just believe that, sport is such a great metaphor to life. When you factor in work ethic, drive, passion, how to rebound, when you get knocked down, how to overcome challenge, the list goes on. So, if I can help teach those life lessons that we've had the ability to learn through sport early on and be a positive role model to not just my sons, but, their classmates and teammates, that gives me a lot of inspiration. So.
Absolutely. Well, kudos for doing that. I know that it can really change someone's life. It really can in a positive way. So, you work with a lot of successful people. And I believe most of us want to leave a solid financial legacy for our families. In working with clients over the years, what are 3 secrets to maintaining a sound financial plan?
Yeah, so first, and I thought you could just give the audience an idea of who we work with. Because we work with 2 different types of clients. The first is what we would call the client building client. And these folks are typically between the ages of 30 and 50. They're building their financial plan. They're growing their careers, their businesses, their families, and life's moving 100 miles an hour at times. And our value adds to help take them off the hamster wheel of life to do the things that they know they need to do. They just might not get around to it financially. The other half of who we're working with are with folks that are closer to retirement or in retirement. And as you can imagine, there's so much hindsight that we get working from these folks. And, the common objective there is, I hear constantly, Tom, I want to get from 60 to 90, never run out of money. I want to continue to grow my nest egg. I want to win the tax game and leave whatever's left to my loved ones in the most efficient way. So, that forces there to be a lot of planning and strategy involved there. And from our collective group of clients, we've been able to, pull together, hey, what are some secrets that we can give? And the first secret is around money management and cash flow. We all kind of want the same thing, right? Which is this balance between living a quality life today, but being well planned and well positioned now and in the future. Well, how do we juggle it all? Ernst & Young has done a study, this was back in 2016, that found that the folks that have that balance, they're saving and investing at least 20% of their income, which that's the secret, save at least 20% of your income. Their fixed bills make up 60%, and then 20% goes towards discretionary spending, things that give us fulfillment, which we're all a big fan of, and I'll talk about that here in a second. But first secret is save and invest 20% of your income. The second secret is around diversification. And Andy, we could do a whole show around diversification, but because there's multiple facets. And the first facet is around asset classes. The smartest economists in the world can't predict year by year what the best performing asset classes will be. But what we do know is that there's a bunch of probability built in when we're diversified amongst 9 different asset classes. And if we have a methodology to proactively rebalance and proactively buy low and sell high within the portfolio, that's going to give us a greater probability for success long-term through investing. So the first facet there is diversify amongst the asset classes. The second facet is diversify amongst time horizon. If we're working with a client that's in their building stage, typically there's goals in the short term, midterm, long term, and retirement. So therefore, we have to get clear around how much is being set aside and what's the time horizon for those dollars. The last facet is around taxes. Most of our clients want to have vehicles that are growing tax deferred, tax free, to help complement the vehicles that are going to grow taxable. And that's going to take some strategy and really getting under the hood within the financial plan. So those are some facets around diversification. And then the last secret, this is my favorite, is spend life living if your financial plan is bulletproof. The greatest thing that we get to do, Andy, is give our clients the green light to put the pool in the backyard, purchase the boat, buy the lake house, take the family vacation, make the memories, because your financial plan is going to be okay. And again, that takes some proactiveness in having a plan, but also being able to nudge clients to say, hey, you've worked really hard to get to where you are. Make sure you're taking advantage of the present as well.
Well, that's a lot of great advice there. You said a mouthful. So, where can people get started? Where do people start when they are working on their sound financial plan, and where to go from here?
So it starts with vision. We got to get really clear on where we're going first. So some discovery questions we'll ask are, in the next 10 to 15 years, what's life look like? What might you need capital for? What are some risks involved? What do you want legacy to look like? What do you want your retirement? Paint us that day in the life of retirement. What's that look like? Next is run a financial plan. We use our planning software to essentially hold the mirror up to our clients, say, here's where you are compared to maybe where you want to be. From that, where could we be more efficient, more tax favored, or fill a need that you've not filled yet? And then lastly, don't procrastinate.
Absolutely. It's an ongoing process. It's not just a one-time event, that's for sure. So, what are some of the best ways for people to get in touch with you, Tom?
Yes, we're active on LinkedIn. You guys can find me on LinkedIn. We're located in Cleveland, Ohio, in the Ernst & Young building here. We have an amazing staff. So LinkedIn, if there's an inquiry, typically it starts with a very informal introductory conversation, ultimately see if we could be a resource now or somewhere down the road. And then also through email, which we'll tag here. But between myself and my partners, we're growing, and there's a ton of impact to still be given out there. So.
Absolutely. Well, I've had a lot of fun getting to know you, talking with you, strategizing with you. Really appreciate, the things you've told me. And so that's been very helpful. And so what would you say as a final word of advice for our friends out there listening or watching today?
Yeah, I think you said it, Andy. Planning is a process. It's not an event. Find somebody that you like. If it's not us, find somebody that you like, know, and trust. That can really hold you accountable to the things that are most important. And then just be willing to take, 2 hours a year at least to review your financial plan, so that the other 363 days you can focus on, what matters most. So, that would be my last bit of advice here.
Well, that's great advice. And I really appreciate you coming on the show with me today, Tom. I really enjoyed talking with you offline and here on the show as well. So that's going to do it for this segment of Hot Topics in Wealth Management. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you soon.